Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking into a really powerful source. It's a personal narrative, actually an excerpt from a YouTube video transcript, and it follows one woman's life journey, which is, well, incredibly challenging. So our mission today is really to unpack Julie's story. We want to understand not just what happened, but how she navigated some really profound personal tragedies, unexpected betrayals too, and how she ultimately found strength and kind of a surprising new beginning. It's quite a testament to the human spirit.
It really is. And today, we're not just recounting a story, are we? We're using it to explore resilience. You know, how some people don't just survive trauma, they actually transform because of it. And we'll dig into those messy dynamics of family, the one you're born into versus the one you choose, and how these pivotal moments can just redefine everything you thought you knew about connection and support.
Early shadows and unbreakable bonds.
All right, so let's start at the beginning of Julie's life. Just pretty typical, happy even. Born to loving parents, Larry and Joanna David, small suburban town. Her dad, Larry, he was a journalist, and her mom, Joanna, was a nurse. Julie describes it as, normal, happy, almost perfect, really, until she hit 14. That's when everything changed.
Yeah, the first major blow.
It was a rainy Friday evening. Her parents were coming home from a dinner party. Julie's home with her grandma. And then the phone rings. And the news just shatters everything. Her mom, Joanna, died instantly in a car crash. Her dad, Larry, he survived, but barely. His legs were crushed. Doctors told him he'd never walk again. And when Julie finally saw him in the hospital, he just whispered, "Julie, I'm so sorry, sweetie. I'm so sorry."
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah. She didn't get it then, why he was apologizing. But later she figured it out. He was sorry for what our lives had become.
Mm. And beyond that immediate shock, that kind of trauma forces this huge, often quiet transformation, right? For Julie, she suddenly has to step up in a massive way. And for Larry, he has to redefine his whole life, his resilience, facing just overwhelming loss, physically and emotionally. But what's really striking is Larry's determination. Despite the wheelchair, the pain, he throws himself into his work as an editor at the city paper. He made sure Julie had everything she needed. And that forged this incredibly deep bond between them, didn't it? It became her rock.
Totally. Her unshakable foundation. So as Julie gets older, her dad actually encourages her to go away to college. He says, "You need to spread your wings, kiddo."
Yeah.
Which must have been huge, leaving him. But she does. She heads off to the State University of New York, studies accounting. And there she meets Emma, who becomes her best friend. And it's through Emma she meets Paul, Emma's second cousin.
Ah, Paul enters the picture.
Right. He's described as kind, funny.
Yeah.
And the narrative makes a point of saying he didn't flinch when she told him about her dad and the situation at home. That detail, the no flinch, it feels really significant here, doesn't it? What does that signal?
Oh, absolutely. It's pivotal. It signals this rare, unconditional acceptance that Julie desperately needed. After everything, being her dad's main support, this isn't just niceness. It's like, I see you. I see your reality. I see your strength. It validates her whole experience. It becomes the bedrock for their relationship.
Makes sense. And apparently the first time Paul met Larry, they hit it off instantly, bonding over classic rock.
Ah, classic rock, of course.
And Paul later tells Julie, "Your dad is cool and you're amazing for taking care of him all these years." Julie remembered just feeling this glow inside, and maybe for the first time since the accident, she could actually have a normal life, love, laughter, and even a family of my own someday.
It's that validation again, isn't it? It validates her past struggles, but also throws open a door to a future she maybe didn't dare hope for.
The fairy tale meets the villains.
So fast forward a bit. After graduation, things start clicking into place. Julie gets a job at a local tax service. Paul starts working as a long-haul truck driver. They date for 4 years. Then, one crisp autumn evening, he pops the question.
The proposal.
Yep. Julie's thrilled, obviously. But she lays down one really crucial condition for getting married. She tells him, "I can't leave my dad. He needs me."
And Paul's response here,
Yeah.
it's incredibly telling about his character, isn't it?
How so?
Well, he doesn't just say, "Okay." He smiles wide, according to the narrative, and says, "I wouldn't have it any other way. We'll all live together. Your dad's apartment is big enough for the three of us, right?" Because he's not just tolerating Larry. He's actively embracing the whole situation. He's basically saying, your family, your responsibilities, they're mine now too. It's a really powerful statement about what family means to him right from the get-go.
Wow, yeah. That's huge. So they have a small, beautiful wedding. Larry even wheels himself down the aisle to give her away.
A lovely image.
But then, as Julie puts it, every fairy tale has its villains. And hers arrive in the form of Paul's mother, Maria, and his sister, Olivia. From the very first meeting, Julie could feel their disapproval. And Maria immediately zeroes in on Larry's disability. She asks, "So your father is handicapped?"
Ugh, that wording.
Right. Julie corrects her, says he's disabled, and Maria's reply is just this dismissive, "How nice." Then she turns to Paul and asks, "Are you sure about this? There are so many nice girls from good families."
Oof. The judgment is just palpable.
Uh-huh.
And targeting the disability like that, it's not just rude, it's dehumanizing. It's like they're trying to frame Larry, and by extension Julie, as less than.
Exactly. It's like setting up this dynamic where family is about appearances, not connection. Just shocking entitlement, really.
Completely lacking in empathy.
Julie says she felt her face flush, but Paul thankfully steps right in. He tells his mom, "Mom, Julie's from a good family. Her dad's disability doesn't change that. I love her, and that's all that matters."
Good for Paul, standing up like that.
Yeah, it apparently shut Maria up for the moment, but the coldness was still there, and Olivia just followed her mom's lead, equally icy. So Paul moves in with Julie and Larry after the wedding. Life kind of settles into a routine, but whenever Maria and Olivia visited, the whole atmosphere shifted.
You could cut the tension with a knife, I bet.
Totally. They acted like they owned the place, barely even acknowledging Larry. And Julie overhears Maria whispering to Olivia one time. It's awful. She hears her say, "It's a shame Paul could have done so much better. Now he's stuck with this girl and her crippled father. What if they have children? Can you imagine the genes?"
Oh my God, the cruelties, the genes is just grotesque.
Unbelievable, right? Julie was furious, but tried to keep the peace. But after one particularly bad visit, she just broke down crying later. Paul found her, comforted her.
And Paul's reaction here, it's so important again. His loyalty is unwavering, isn't it? Such a stark contrast to his mother and sister. He gets that family isn't just blood ties. It's love. It's acceptance. When he tells Julie, "That's ridiculous. You and your dad are my family now." If they can't accept that it's their problem, not ours, he's not just comforting her. He's drawing a line in the sand. He's reaffirming, this is my family, you and Larry, not them, if they act like this.
He really seems solid, a rock for her.
A new beginning, a deeper betrayal.
Okay, so time moves on. Paul's trucking business starts doing well, but it means he's on the road a lot. Then one evening, he calls Julie with this idea. He suggests they buy a townhouse, one specifically suited for Larry, wider doorways, a roll-in shower, and he even thought about a garden for Julie. What does it tell us about Paul's commitment at this stage?
It really deepens our understanding, doesn't it? He's moved beyond just accepting Larry. He's actively planning for his long-term comfort and for Julie's happiness. It's not just being thoughtful, it's proactive care. It shows a deep, settled commitment to this family unit he's built with them.
So they find this perfect place, a spacious townhouse, nice backyard. They manage the mortgage with Paul's income, Julie's, and rent from Larry's old apartment.
It really solidifies him as this truly loving, responsible partner and son-in-law, a real family man.
And for a while, life in the new house is described as peaceful, almost perfect. They decide to throw a housewarming party, invite everyone, friends, colleagues.
And Ray and Olivia.
Yep, even Marie and Olivia. They show up fashionably late, naturally, and Julie notices them looking around with barely hidden envy. Now you'd think, new house, maybe things will settle down. Nope. This is where it gets really shocking. Maria pulls Julie aside while they're walking through the house. They're in the master bedroom, and Maria gets this sly smile and actually suggests to Julie. She says, "This would be perfect for Paul and me."
Wait, for her?
Yes. And then she says, "Why don't you send your father to a nursing home? Then I could move in here."
Wow. Just wow, the audacity. That's not just rude, that's a blatant power play. She's literally trying to dismantle Julie's family and assert herself.
Malicious.
Malicious.
Totally malicious. And before Julie can even process it, Maria marches out to the patio where Larry is chatting with guests, and Julie watches in horror as Maria grabs the handles of Larry's wheelchair and starts pushing him towards the driveway.
Yeah.
Yes. And she's sneering, saying, "If he won't go to a nursing home, he can stay outside."
That's assault. That's unbelievable.
Thankfully, Paul hears the commotion. He comes running out, face red with fury, yells, "Mom, what the hell are you doing? Let go of Larry's chair right now."
Thank goodness for Paul.
He immediately made Maria and Olivia leave. He absolutely stood up for Julie and Larry, defending his chosen family, just like before.
His decisive action there is crucial. He's setting absolute boundaries. This isn't just disapproval anymore. It's active aggression from Maria, and he shuts it down completely.
The unimaginable loss and vicious attempts.
So after that horrifying incident, Maria and Olivia understandably kept their distance. Life settled into a kind of new normal for Julie, Paul, and Larry. 4 years actually passed relatively peacefully. Paul was away a lot for work. But when he was home, things were good. Happy. And then the phone call. The one that changes everything again. Julie's at work. It's Officer Andrew from the Highway Patrol. He tells her Paul was in a serious accident, and he didn't make it. Paul was gone.
Oh, Julie, it's that moment, isn't it? The world just drops out from under you. And for her, it's the second time. That echo of the first trauma, losing her mom, now losing Paul. It's just unimaginable loss piled on loss. It truly tests the limits of a person's spirit.
The next week was just a blur, a fog of grief. The day before the funeral, Julie steels herself and calls Maria, her mother-in-law. Maria's response is just chilling. She says, "This is your fault. You killed my son."
Oh, that's vile. Absolutely vile.
And then she refuses to help with funeral costs, tells Julie, "Don't expect a penny from us. You made your bed, now lie in it."
That's not grief speaking. That's pure cruelty. It's textbook emotional abuse, kicking someone when they're at their absolute lowest, trying to isolate them.
Yeah. And true to her word, Maria and Olivia were nowhere to be seen at Paul's funeral.
Just devastating. But Larry was there, wasn't he?
Oh, absolutely. Larry was her rock. He noticed their absence, squeezed Julie's hand, and said, "It's their loss, sweetie. We're family, and we'll get through this together."
Thank God for Larry. That unwavering support, that's what real family is. Such a stark contrast.
But the horror wasn't over. When Julie and Larry get back home from the funeral, they pull into the driveway, and something's wrong. The lights are on inside. Julie hears voices, familiar voices. Her heart starts pounding. She pushes the door open.
Let me guess. Maria and Olivia.
You got it. They're in the living room, surrounded by boxes, furniture pieces, like they're moving in. And Maria just declares, bold as brass, "This house belongs to us now. All of Paul's property does. We're his family after all."
The sheer nerve. While Julie is grieving, they try to pull this. It's predatory. It's just stunningly audacious. They clearly thought she'd be too broken to fight back.
Well, they underestimated Julie. Her grief momentarily vanished, replaced by fury. She just explodes. "Like hell you are. Get out of my house right now."
Good for her.
She grabs her phone, threatens to call the police. Maria and Olivia look genuinely worried that they hadn't counted on her fighting back so hard. Maria tries to argue, but Julie cuts her off.
No! You have exactly 10 minutes to get out before I call the cops. This is my home. Paul and I bought it together. You have no right.
That immediate, assertive response was absolutely critical. Standing her ground like that, protecting her home against their, frankly, disgusting tactics.
They grabbed their stuff and left, but not before Maria shot back. "This isn't over, Julie. You'll be hearing from our lawyers."
Of course, the threats continue, but Julie held her ground. That's huge.
A legacy unveiled and a future secured. So about a week after the funeral, just as Julie's probably bracing for legal trouble, she gets another call. This time it's from a Scott Thompson, from a law firm, Thompson and Partners. He's calling about Paul's will, something Julie didn't even know existed. Her heart must have been pounding, thinking it was Maria making good on her threat.
But it wasn't.
Yeah.
And this call, this is a massive turning point, isn't it? It reveals Paul's incredible foresight. He knew. He must have anticipated exactly what his mother and sister might try to pull, so he took steps. Proactive protection for Julie and Larry.
Exactly. The next day, Julie and her dad go to the lawyer's office. Mr. Thompson reads the will. "Paul explicitly left all my worldly possessions to my beloved wife, Julie Walker." That included the house, his truck, all their savings, everything.
Wow. Explicitly to Julie.
Yes, and his will clearly stated his wish for Julie to use these resources to care for herself and her father, Larry David, whom he wrote he had come to love as my own.
Oh, that line, "come to love as my own."
Julie was just in tears. Even after he was gone, Paul was still taking care of them. And then Mr. Thompson hands her a letter from Paul, accompanying the will.
A letter.
Yeah, I read, "I made this will because I know how my mother and sister can be. You're my real family, Julie. You and Larry, not them." He finished it saying, "Take care of each other, live your lives to the fullest, and know that I'll always be watching over you."
That's incredibly powerful. It's more than just legal protection. That's an emotional validation, isn't it? A final declaration of who his true family was. It completely safeguards Julie and Larry, legally and emotionally, against any claims Maria and Olivia could possibly make. What profound comfort and vindication, even in grief.
And there was more good news financially. Mr. Thompson explained Paul's truck was insured. Because of the accident circumstances, the policy would pay out in full. Enough, he said, to pay off your mortgage and more.
Just, wow. Paul really thought of everything, setting them up to be secure.
So picture this. Julie and Larry pull into their driveway after leaving the lawyer's office, and guess who's waiting on the porch?
Oh no, not again. Maria and Olivia.
Yep. But this time was different. Julie wasn't scared. She had Paul's letter in her pocket, his words in her heart. She looks Maria straight in the eye and says calmly but firmly, "No, Maria, we don't. Paul left everything to me. It's all legal and official, and do you want to know why? Because we were his real family, not you."
Boom. Direct hit.
Then she told them they were trespassing and needed to leave. Maria and Olivia just stared, then left with a venomous glare. What a shift in Julie, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A complete transformation. It's not just the legal backing, it's the emotional strength she drew from Paul's love and foresight. She's empowered, she stands up definitively, claims her space, defends her family. It's a moment of real personal triumph.
Hope amidst grief, a new life.
So the following weeks were incredibly busy for Julie, settling Paul's affairs, paying off the mortgage with the insurance money. One afternoon, she's going through Paul's desk and finds this small notebook. It's filled with his messy handwriting. Turns out it was a kind of journal.
Oh, wow. What did it say?
Plans for their future, mostly. And one entry just stopped her cold. It read, "Thinking about starting a college fund for our future kids. Want to make sure they have the best start in life."
Oh, that's just... Bittersweet doesn't even cover it, does it? The pain of what they lost, side by side with this proof of how deep his love and commitment went. Planning for kids they didn't even have yet. It underlines the future they were building, the one that was stolen. Painful, but also a comfort maybe, knowing how much he dreamed for them.
Must have been. That night, Julie couldn't sleep, tossing and turning. When she finally drifted off, she had this dream about Paul. He was smiling at her, holding out his hand, and he just said, "It's okay, Julie. Everything's going to be all right."
Dreams like that, during intense grief, they can be incredibly significant psychologically, can't they? It's like the mind offering a sense of peace, maybe connection, or even permission to find a way forward. A sense of closure or reassurance.
Well, what happens next is, well, it's incredible. The very next morning, Julie wakes up feeling different, nauseous. At first, she blames stress, grief, but it keeps happening for a week.
Yeah.
Finally, she finds herself buying a pregnancy test.
No, really?
Yes. She said the 5 minutes waiting for the result felt like an eternity, and then she looked. 2 clear blue lines.
Oh, my goodness.
She just sank to the bathroom floor. Overwhelmed,
Yeah.
joy, fear, grief, hope, all hitting her at once.
Mm-hmm.
She eventually told Larry, and her dad just embraced her, tears in his eyes, calling the baby a gift, a piece of Paul that will live on.
Wow. Talk about life finding a way.
Exactly. Suddenly, Julie's fear started to fade, replaced by this fierce determination, this pregnancy.
Yeah.
It's like hope literally taking root, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's more than just a new beginning. It's Paul's legacy continuing in the most tangible way possible, a living symbol of their love. It's born from such deep sorrow, but it completely reshapes her future, gives new meaning to everything, a moment of just pure, unexpected light in the darkness.
So as the months passed, Julie's belly grew. She found this strength she didn't know she possessed. Then, one sunny afternoon, who should pull up but Maria and Olivia? Looking, as Julie described it, both comfortable and slightly desperate.
Oh, here we go again. What now?
Olivia admits they've hit some hard times, and then she asks if they could maybe stay in Larry's old apartment just until we get back on our feet.
After everything, the nerve is just boundless.
Julie's response, though,
Yeah.
calm, firm. That's not possible.
That
I
was
don't want to
wrong.
communicate with you anymore. Full stop.
Good for her. Clear boundary.
But then Maria's eyes narrow. She finally notices Julie's pregnant belly. Her face twists with shock, then disgust. "You're pregnant," she spits out. "Already? You little prostitute. I can't believe you already found a new man. Paul's body isn't even cold in the ground."
Vicious. Just absolutely vile to the very end.
Julie felt this surge of anger, but she just pushed it down. She didn't explain it was Paul's child. Why bother, right? Instead, she gave them what the narrative calls a small, secretive smile that seemed to unsettle Maria even more. And she just said, calmly, "My personal life is none of your concern. Now I think it's time for you to leave." And as they left, Julie felt a sense of peace wash over me.
And that right there, that's the ultimate triumph, isn't it? She's established impenetrable boundaries. She's protected her new family, herself, her dad, and her unborn child. Her quiet dignity, her refusal to get drawn into their poison, it speaks volumes. It shows incredible personal growth, incredible strengths forged in fire. She doesn't need their validation or understanding. She just needs her peace.
Julie's journey. It really is an incredible story of resilience, isn't it? Facing loss after loss, yet holding on to loyalty to Paul, her father, the family they built. She navigated horrific betrayal, stood her ground when it mattered most, and somehow managed to build a new future from the wreckage. Paul's love and foresight, her father's steadfastness, they were the bedrock.
Absolutely. This story just screams questions about what family truly means. Is it blood or is it choice? Loyalty, love. It shows the raw courage needed to face down adversity, manipulation. And it reminds us that hope, that new beginnings can genuinely sprout in the most unexpected ways, often nurtured by that core of unconditional love and support.
So this deep dive into Julie's life really makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Right.
About how we define family and how the actions of people, those we love, and maybe those who just claim to, can fundamentally shape our path. What does this story make you reflect on? Thinking about how we protect the ones we love when life throws its absolute worst at us.